Well, a snowy afternoon across the Ozarks. You know, we have a couple of Color 10 viewer pictures that we want to share with you because look at this scenery. Russell Tidland sent us this picture of his house today. Beautiful sight. And another picture, likely in Springfield, shows a tranquil scene of the owner's front lawn and street. Really white there, huh? You can always send us or Jamie your winter weather photos. We love to show them on air and share them on social media as well. It really was a beautiful sight out there, Jamie.
Yeah, you know, and it was kind of interesting. I went home for supper this evening, and here we are after Christmas, and right now it looks more like Christmas than it did going into Christmas with the snow on the ground and the lights that are still on. Here's a live look outside. We're looking at the downtown airport and beyond, down toward the Springfield city skyline. You can see the white ground as a result of the snow that moved through the area earlier this afternoon. It started up close to noon, continued through about 3:30 this afternoon, and there was a burst in there along about 1 to 3 of some fairly heavy snowfall. And that's when really, as temperatures dropped down to freezing, as the snowflakes drove those temperatures down to freezing, that's when we really started to see the accumulations. And we picked up around an inch here in Springfield, sitting at 29 right now, and with clouds thinning out across the area and with calm winds, that temperature is going to continue to tumble. Dew points are currently in the upper 20s, but I think as the night wears on, we're going to find that dew point dropping as we find that humidity sort of adhering to the snow cover, and we're going to find that temperature dropping eventually into the low 20s for low. So it's going to be a cold night tonight. The back edge of the precipitation currently located across north central Arkansas into southeast Missouri. Temperatures at the surface look a little bit too warm for worries of any ice here, but there's likely some sleet still trying to mix in. Maybe a little bit of light snow also trying to mix in on the back edge of that precipitation, although upstairs in the atmosphere it looks a little bit too warm for snow in those areas. The bigger story really is going to be that precipitation moves out, clouds thin out overnight tonight. We've got a cold start to our Thursday, and we are looking at a fairly quiet New Year's Eve, at least throughout the day. I think for the morning hours, we're going to find partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies, sort of high overcast. And then as we work into the afternoon, those high clouds will gradually thicken up. And then we'll find those clouds building down closer and closer to the surface as moisture moves in. Now, I think we're going to keep the risk of any wet weather at bay until the early evening hours, at least for areas north of the state line. So for the bulk of the day, we're just looking at a dry day, a little bit of sun, but still cold out there. And I think snow cover and that cloudiness is going to tend to limit how warm we can get. Overnight tonight should slip again into the low 20s here in Springfield. Looks like mid to upper 20s more common to the south. For tomorrow, we will find temperatures climbing generally into the mid to upper 30s. I think areas where there's a bit more snow on the ground, like here in Springfield, that's going to tend to suppress our highs just a little bit. So it looks like near 37 for the high. Now getting back to Thursday evening, as precipitation works in from the south, initially it's going to be rain, possibly some sleet trying to mix in. But as the rain falls and it saturates the air, it's going to drive temperatures down to or a little bit below freezing. And then that's where we start having some concerns. I think probably by about mid-evening tomorrow night, we see that cold rain shifting over to freezing rain, and we start accumulating some ice. And I think with some of the heavier showers, there will probably be some sleet mixing in as well. And I think given the setup, it's going to be tough to get temperatures above the freezing mark until maybe sometime during the morning hours on Friday. So there may be a prolonged period of icing, and we could see some significant icing as a result, especially north of Highway 60. I think during the day on Friday, temperatures do edge a little bit above freezing, and we see some rain showers or drizzle. As temperatures cool off aloft later in the day, we could see that switch back over to maybe some light snow shower activity, flurries, or possibly even some freezing drizzle if temperatures do drop back to freezing by the end of the afternoon. I want to show you this not to alarm you, but to just give you an idea. Again, the model guidance is really suggesting that we could see some significant icing north of Highway 60. We'll be fine-tuning this forecast as we get into Thursday. Just to kind of give you a heads up right there. Winter storm watches are currently in effect for areas north of Highway 54, but I will not be surprised if the advisories don't get issued further east and south as we get into Thursday as well. So be very watchful of that forecast for New Year's Eve night. I think we've got another shot at some light snow on Saturday. Could get some minor accumulations out of that, especially along and north of the interstate. We thaw out on Sunday, and we're actually looking pretty good on Monday with highs well into the 50s with sunshine.
Okay, so tomorrow night, just keep an eye on that weather before you ring in the new year. Jamie, thank you.